Okay, so you were just a regular kid growing up in Jersey, or what? Tell us about
Yeah, I
this.
competed in dance growing up, majored in dance in college, danced for the Brooklyn Nets basketball team for 4 years after college.
Oh, wow.
Then I worked in the fitness scene in New York City for a while, then started my podcast. All I knew at the time is that I wanted to talk about sex. I didn't know really what else. And at that time, I wasn't even really into the life, like the open lifestyle or anything like that. I was just kind of like, I knew I wanted to talk about it. And as I've evolved, because my ex and we did a lot of like sexual exploration. So as I've evolved, so has my podcast. But yeah.
Right.
Wait, so was your ex a cuck? Because you talk about an open lifestyle. So he was a cuck.
For lack of a better word, yeah. He didn't want to like sit there and be like embarrassed, but he did like when I would send him videos or tell him stories about what happened with me and other guys.
And how did you convince him, or was it him that convinced you?
Him. The first day we met at his birthday party during COVID, like it's one of the first things he says is that like he loves promiscuous women. Like that's like what he, and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. Let me try this.
Really? That wasn't a turnoff? Because I feel like I could have definitely been saying that my whole time dating.
No, for me, it was a turn on because I've always been very proudly promiscuous. So for me, it was like, ooh, this is interesting. And then I got off on it. The fact that like he was getting off to me with someone else, like I loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he wanted for black guys to drill you, or he wanted
any kind of guys, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he told you that from the very beginning that he was turned on by it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, so after like, being with this guy for a year and a half, you know somebody. I actually have the same kink now too, except I feel like his kink came from a place of control. Like I was hurt in the past by someone and I'm going to let you do this so that you can't hurt me. Versus me now, I just love watching my partner with someone else. I get really like a little jealous, yeah, but it's more of like a turn on kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah. But I also value my sexual freedom.
So okay, what were you like? We're kind of skipping all over the place
Yeah.
here, but tell me a little bit about what your early days were like sexually, like up through high school and like in your early 20s and everything.
Sure.
Where were you at?
Sure. So I was an early bloomer. I had sex when I was like 14, but I wasn't really ready. I took like 2 years off after that because I think I knew I like wasn't really ready.
Okay.
And then all through high school, like had boyfriends, whatever, college, I was pretty promiscuous. I went to Rutgers and they joke that there's their own STD there called the Scarlet Night. I mean, there's not, but it's just like
How many dudes did you fuck
Sluckers.
at Rutgers?
Oh, I don't know. I used to keep a list. I don't anymore, but a lot.
Like
You were going
500?
hard.
No, I'm not at 500 yet. The last time I was over 100 when I stopped counting. But I'd probably say like around 120
Okay.
if I had to guess. But I don't know.
It's interesting though how our society just has so little like space or understanding for people who have, out of the ordinary roles in this regard, because like even me and you, like our instinct right away when we hear about a guy being okay with a girl getting fucked by other guys is just like, whoa, like
Yeah.
we kind of like reject it right away. And even
Yeah.
like the idea that a guy would like a girl to be promiscuous is very like hard for people to kind of wrap their head around.
Which I think is ridiculous. Like, I think we're all, I don't know if it's just me. I have pretty high testosterone for a girl, I think. My sex drive is pretty high. And like, I don't know, after being in monogamous relationships, like, I just really value my sexual freedom at this point. I feel like, I don't know, yeah, society and religion, they like kind of like brainwash us into thinking one way is acceptable or not. But yeah, this is kind of what works for me.
And do you feel like having sex with a bunch of dudes, and does that...
It's not even a bunch of dudes,
Okay.
though. It's just like if the opportunity presents itself, I like having the freedom to do that.
Of course.
If the opportunity presents itself. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, and yeah, I've had like my sluttier phases or whatever.
Of course.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. So has that affected the box in any way? Is it, looser and, like how is it? Again, because I don't know.
Like
I'm
my
not a female.
actual
Yeah.
vagina?
Yeah.
No, like it's actually really tight. I get people say it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I feel you have a small waist.
Yeah.
I feel like that's got a lot to do with it. I don't know why, but I feel like that's a good indicator.
Like even going
It's
into
multi-layers?
labs, I'm like, like it's
People
tight.
never want to believe me, but I always say, through all of my experience, I am quite sure that the tightness of the vagina has so much more to do with genetics than
Yeah.
the amount of sex that she's had in her life.
You might be right. I think it's probably like a case by case thing, like
I have fucked a lot of girls that I know have had sex with probably like 500 fucking guys. and they still had a tight ass pussy.
Yeah.
And I've fucked girls who were definitely had sex with less than 5 guys, and they
Yeah.
fucking pussy was just vacuumous.
Yeah, I mean, it's the size
huge.
of your waist and the bone structure, everything, right?
And but also, I think you can have some control over it, because when my girl isn't working out, and then when she is working out, when she's doing a lot of ab exercises and stuff, I swear to God, I feel it way tighter.
Yeah, those Kegels, they
Yes,
get you.
a lot of women have loose pussy, and it's just because they're not working out hard enough.
Okay, guys, this was a clip from the No Jumper Patreon. If you want to watch it in full, where they get naked and all this other crazy stuff, head on over patreon.com/NoJumper and check it out in full. We drop a new one every week.